Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about WordPress and how and why you might use a WordPress site. We're going to stay with wordpress.com and in a space that's free. So we're going to walk through how to choose an address, how to get a WordPress site started, and how to make sure that you have it launched without having us opted into paying for it. So it's basically the how to get a WordPress.com site up and running for free. There are lots of reasons why you might choose to pay for WordPress space later, but for right now we're just working with the free option. And it's a little difficult to get it set up so that it remains free. So WordPress is one of many content management systems, CMSs they call them. So it's basically a place where you could write and store documents and have them as a resource you can put out on the web. So people will choose Weebly or Wix for a portfolio, and I often suggest that they try WordPress instead, simply because WordPress will afford you the possibility of learning how to create content in ways that companies often use. Small companies will choose between WordPress and Squarespace, and if you learn WordPress, you will find Squarespace very easy. And Squarespace costs money and WordPress doesn't, and that's one of the reasons why we choose it. The other is that a lot of companies have WordPress.org, the open source version of WordPress, functioning on a hosting site that they contract with and step around WordPress.com. So just that sort of overview. The next overview is about addresses. When I'm looking to create content in a specific area, I go online and look at maybe 20, 30 websites that are exactly what I want to create, a very similar sort of feel in my particular industry. So if I want to create a travel site, for example, I look through maybe 50 websites that are all about travel, look at how they're shaping the address, how they're shaping the branding, and then I start working with what my address might look like, what my brand might be. I know what I want to do, and so I'm looking to see what other people have done and then trying to figure out how I might do that myself. Now, when we're working with WordPress.com, we're trying for a free site, so our address may not be as important, but sometimes it's great to set up an address that's exactly what you're doing in a way that if you're putting it on a resume, it's easy for the people to see what you're up to. So everything we do today will be .wordpress.com, and there are plenty of people who have already selected an address under .wordpress.com, and if you've ever signed up for an email or for an account and used a username, and that username is already taken, they will often suggest to you one that has a bunch of numbers after it. What we're trying for is just creating a WordPress site where maybe we can get some uniqueness that makes it very easy for us to remember the site and type it in, and other people have an ease with it as well. Today's work can easily be erased, so if you don't want to spend time today thinking about an address, but you want to walk through the process, that's what we're doing today. So let's jump to the screen and we'll work through the two things we're going to do today. One, name a site. Two, get it launched. All right, so we're switching to the screen and we're heading down this road. So when you first come to WordPress, there's going to be this sort of framing, and you just want to create something, choose a password, and then you're going to confirm that account on your email. So I'm at a screen that says choose a domain, and I'm going to type in some words that maybe will give me a domain. I've typed in the word designforclass.wordpress.com, and I'm going to pull the screen up and see that design for class here doesn't have any numbers after it. So that means it's pretty easy for me to say, yeah, that'll work for me as an address. I select it. My eye is designed to come here, but up at the top right, there's a start with a free site. And then here it's going to say, what are your goals, so it can shape the template, but I'm just going to skip to dashboard. All right, so now I've got a site, and my site you can see the site title. Here is site design for classes. I have my home dashboard. I have my inbox, posts, pages, appearance. You'll see that there's a reader, and sometimes when I sign in, it will drop me right into the reader, and I have to remember to go over here to my sites. Now we're going to do one more thing, which is to launch our site to the world. So if you click down on the right-hand side, the last one, before we do anything else, we're just going to say launch the site, and we're looking for the pink button. So we'll launch the site. And it will say, hey, did you really want to have design for class.wordpress.com, or do you want to pay money? And we are going to go down to the bottom and skip the purchase. And you would think that would be enough, but again, we have to come up to the top where it says start with a free site, click on it, and then we have the site launched. And those are the 2 times when WordPress will try to get you to pay money. So that's as easy as it is. We just have opened up WordPress, we've come up with a name for our site, we've gone through the process of making sure we're not paying for it, because this is how to do this in a free way. And then we've come back in and launched the site, again, trying to avoid getting charged for it, so that we're back to the front page and we can start in on the next lesson with how to start making a website. Thanks again for joining.